Call to order the City Council work session for City of East Grand Forks for Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. It's now 5 o'clock. City Clerk, please call roll.
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olstead.
Here.
Council Vice President Chad Grassel.
Here.
Council Members Clarence Vetter.
Here.
Mike Pekshavinsky.
Here.
Tim Riopel.
Here.
Henry Tweeten.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Present.
Does term a quorum. Number 1, update from American Crystal Sugar. Mayor Gander.
You know, for a while, we worked with American Crystal on the various odors that were coming from the plant, and that was about 10 and 12 years ago. And I know you guys went to work on the ponds and made great progress, and then it did still seem that there was some trouble 10 and 12 years ago, and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5. And then you found that the last pile brought in from the yard was causing some problems, and you fixed that. And it occurred to me that over about the last 2 years, I haven't detected anything other than just a little bit of that toasted smell that comes just on occasion. And I thought, you know what, we bring you all in here when there's some trouble, but we do not bring you in to find out how you fixed it, you know, the steps that you took, the expense that you had, and some of the ongoing plans for the future. It's kind of easy to take a company for granted that's been built and in our community since 1926. I just looked at your website and see that you have a total of 303 employees, 228 all year, 75 in the campaign, also serving 618 growers. Of course, all the trans system employees, all of the other affiliated contractors that we bring in. I feel we have developed a very good partnership between American Crystal and the city. You're a great utility customer. We try to coordinate transportation in and out during harvest. And I just want you all to know that we as a city, how we appreciate all that you bring to the community through the sugar industry, all of the good employment, all of the good, just everything. I mean, it's a good staple for our farmers. Some other crops seem to go up and down from year to year, but they can count on that piece as being a good part of their farm. And so it was my hope that you all could come in and just give us an update on any of these items, and also thinking ahead to the future, what you have for plans that we as a city want to partner with you going forward.
Sure. I'll start out. I'm Lloyd Kennedy. I'm the factory manager here at American Crystal Sugar in East Grand Forks, and with me tonight is Corey Kritzberger. He's the Ag Operations Manager, and he'll give an update kind of on the harvest and what we see for crop potential. And then Josh Gleason is our Environmental Compliance Supervisor, so he directly supervises the water treatment and the ponds and all our environmental permits. But I want to start out by thanking you for inviting us. It has been several years since we have come and met with the City Council of East Grand Forks and given an update. And you're right, this has been a long process. What you may or may not know is that handling water is a major component of our business. Sugar beets are typically on average 76 to 77% water, which for East Grand Forks, that equates to over 450 million gallons of water that we bring into our plant every processing season. You know, some of that we evaporate, some of it we condense into clean water, but some of it has to go through our water treatment plant. And that process alone is associated with odors that we've dealt with over the years. And many years ago, we really started looking at things, and one thing, there's not a huge amount of technology out there that applies to our industry. We're quite a bit different than municipal treatment plants and other industries in the amount and strength of the water that we deal with. So it's a lot of the stuff that we had to invest and look at. We're learning as we go. And just to give you a sense of what that is, since 2006 through 2017, here in East Grand Forks, American Crystal Sugar has invested nearly $40 million alone in just environmental, primarily dealing with water, whether it's the volume of water or how we treat the water in the process and training. Not all that was successful, like you mentioned. There were some setbacks in some of those expenditures that didn't turn out like we wanted them to. But we have made great strides, and I think, you know, as of late, the last several years, we are seeing the fruits of those investments and the fruits of those efforts to try to improve and be a better part of the community as far as odors go. We continue to spend and we continue to invest, and try to make things better. We are very proud to be part of the East Grand Forks community, and we hope we portray that, and we want to continue that relationship and continue to be a good member of the community. So we look forward to giving updates, and we greatly appreciate the invite. So with that, I'll turn it over to Josh Gleason, who oversees that department, and he can kind of cover some of the more recent things we've done and some of the things that we have in the more immediate future as far as ways to continue to make improvements towards the odors that we generate. So Josh?
Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks for me as well. It's nice to see that people are noticing. So a lot of work goes into trying to mitigate odor, and it's good to see that it is noticed. Lloyd mentioned, we've spent roughly $40 million in improvements. More recently, 2013 through 2016, we were right around that $5 million mark. Some of those projects included an upgrade to our aeration on our pond system. We've undertaken multiple projects to reduce the amount of water that's generated from the factory, including increased communication between the wastewater department and the operations themselves, which has played a large role in it. We spend a lot of time identifying sources and trying to come up with solutions on them. We're integrating more technology into that. We take roughly 70 manual readings every 24 hours to identify any source and take action on those sources. We've improved our screening to remove the organics from the water so that the water that does go out to the ponds carries less risk to generate odor. Again, the additional monitoring equipment kind of helps us make better decisions on where we head from where we're at. So coming up, we've got a couple projects in the works. We are improving our drainage on site. Kind of get the water to the ponds quicker, doesn't sit out there, increase our risk of soaking up anything that will increase odor. And we're also increasing some aeration at the ponds, creating some redundancy. Most recently, we've completed our anaerobic clarifier cover. It's the large structure. It's probably noticeable from the ballpark, and that's kind of one of those sources that's close to our neighboring residents that we thought would be kind of some low-hanging fruit. So the structure itself's in place. We plan to have that system online in the next couple months. It's already reducing odors. Once we can start pulling that methane and using it as a renewable energy in the factory, we expect to see good results out of it. So, moving forward, we're just, again, identifying sources. It's a constant battle. There's every day things change. So the guys are adapting. We're trying new techniques and just trying to stay on top of it. So again, we appreciate the opportunity to kind of explain it.
Thank you. I did actually stop in the neighborhood and ask people. I thought, am I the only one that is my smeller bad? But I said, have you caught anything in the last couple of years? And everyone that I talked to said, not a thing. It's been really, really good. So it's paying off in the neighborhoods and all throughout our community.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's several years ago, we started identifying big sources, as Josh mentioned, and putting systems in place to deal with those and mitigate those issues. Where we're at now is we're fairly confident. I mean, there's always risk and potential for issues, but we start identifying even small sources, and like the clarifier, that the structure that you can see from Fifth Avenue is one example where it doesn't always smell. But it is one that's a source that we identified and we dealt with it. It's a big aluminum cover and aluminum structure. It's so nice and bright that you can see. But that's what that is geared for. So it really gets to a point where we're identifying small sources. And one thing I didn't mention, we sit on roughly 800 acres, the East Grand Forks site. And stormwater, rain events are big events for us as well. We collect all that water. That doesn't get discharged to the city's stormwater system. That's all collected and has to go through our water treatment system. So those variables always play a factor into our processes. So there continue to be challenges, and there will be challenges in the future, but we are making good progress, and hopefully we can continue down that avenue and keep having nice invites like this. So,
Thanks. Yeah.
Just a little update on the ag side. You know, we spend a fair amount of money. Part of my responsibilities out here in East Grand Forks is beet storage and harvest management. And, you know, last year we had a record crop in the Red River Valley. We piled over 12 million tons of beets in the Red River Valley. And when you have that and, you know, reduced smell and odors, part of what I'm charged with is storing the beets better, and of course, the better the beets stored, the less problems we have in the factories and less stormwater and issues that Josh has to deal with. But we've had a number of expansions out in our factory yard, increased ventilation in the piles. You probably noticed we were probably covering a few more piles with poly, you know, than we've used to and things like that. So we, on the egg side, beet storage is we're continually looking for better ways to get the sugar in the Weibel and not in the, you know, in other places. So on just a little update on where we're at right now, we're looking at another really nice beet crop. We're probably looking at 28 to 30 tons in the River Valley, somewhere in that neighborhood. Last year we were just over 30, so you know, fairly close to last year. We're looking at maybe 11.5 to maybe 11.8 million tons. So again, similar to last year, quality's been excellent this year so far. We're looking at starting beet harvest roughly October 1st, like we always do, for full stockpile. So, you know, we're off and running. We've already sliced over 1 million tons of beets out of the, 10.5 million we plan to put down for stockpiles. So we've done a fair amount of work in the first month of campaign already, and things appear to be, or look like they're going well, and we got a good crop coming the way it looks. So we're looking to cash in on that.
Anybody have any questions for them or anything else to add?
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate the update. Thanks for the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.